Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today, we are rebuilding the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Now, with Western Kentucky, they have what I like to call the Red Grimace as their mascot. Last year, we didn't do them, so this year, we're doing them. I believe they were the only CUSA team I did not do last year, so that's why I'm doing them now. With Western Kentucky, they're 71 overall, 71 on the offense, 71 on the defense. They run the air raid in a base 3-4, so let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the roster. We have Maverick McIver starting. We have Tucker Parks and Rodney Tisdale Jr., two freshmen, sophomore, and Caleb. Running back, we have George Hart III. We have Byron Slayton, Jalen Hampton, Jaden McGill. I have no clue who any of these guys are. Fullback, we have Nathan Reeves. Receiver, we have Matthew Henry, K.D. Hutchinson, Kelby Williams, Isaiah Mayers, and then all these guys who I never heard of. Jackson West is our starting tight end. Noah Mayers as backup. We have a freshman in Cross Nemo there. Left tackle, we have Marcel Jackson. We do have a freshman there. We have Lauren Seymour, followed by that guy, Weston Warrants, Zach, and Chris Small. Center, we have Caleb, followed by Elijah Williams and Jackson there. Quincy Jenkins, starting right guard. Melvin Cummings. We do have two freshmen, but they're probably going to want to transfer. Nick Raymer, starting right tackle, followed by Upchurch, the backup. Max and Enrique there. Left end, we have Jaden Gray. These two there. Dominic Oliver on the right. Robbie, this guy, Eric, and Jakeem and Jalen Hardy all at the tackle, followed by these two. At the Sam, we have Joshua Menza along with Corin Hayward. At the Mike, we have Keon Lofton, Miller Maloney, Zach Smith, and then these two guys there. Jalen Wester at the Will, these two guys. Corner, we have Damari Williams, Kent Robinson, Jalen Braxton, and then all these guys here. High Ali is our starting free safety, followed by Eugene Jr. and this guy here. Virgin Marshall is at the strong safety, followed by these two guys. Kicker, we have John Cannon. Punter, we have Cole Maynard. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our roster. A lot of guys I don't know, so that's why we got to recruit. So let's go. Bryce Cox, committed. Oscar Whiteheart, committed. David Steed, committed. Dante Azuma, committed. Greg Stokes, committed. Denario Nicholson, committed. Greg Azerman, committed. Corden Campbell, committed. Caleb Krause, commits. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 Heisman Trophy winner is John Mateer, quarterback of Oklahoma. He had 2,983 yards, 32 tutties, and a 68% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, taking on Boise State. And ladies and gentlemen, we fall 35-10. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year one stats. Maverick, 292 for 551, 52% completion percentage, 3,359 yards, 18 tutties, and 3 picks. Rushing, Hart the third, 179 for 905, 3 tutties. Byron, 90 for 266, a tutty. Wright, 6 for 42 tutties. Henry, 6 for 13. KD, 2 for 5. And Hampton, 1 for 3. Receiving, Myers, 57 for 804, 9 tutties. Henry, 72 for 789, 3 tutties. KD, 51 for 898, 2 tutties. Jackson West, 48, 523, 1 tutty. Kirby Williams, 21 for 267, 3 tutties. George Hart III, 23 for 121. Byron, 15 for 113. Noah, 2 for 20. Barry, 2 for 18. Johnny, 1 for 6. How about the defense here? 95 tackles for Ward. Williams, 71. 63 for Anthony. Dominic, 60. 57 for Ali. 56 for Marshall. Kent, 54. 48 for Jalen. Emery, tackles lost 6 by Wester and Hardy. 5 by Oliver and Matatumayu. Ward with 4 along with Fletcher and Harrison. 3 by Gray. Marshall with 2 along with Emery. 1 by Anthony and Keon. Sacks, 3 by Wester, 2 by Hardy, Oliver, Ward, and Harrison. 1.5 by Fletcher. 1 by this guy, Gray, with a half sack. Interceptions, 2 by Ward and Williams. 1 by Ali and Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, year one, terrible year, but we've got some recruits. Let's get to the portal and get more talent. And ladies and gentlemen, it was the Red River Rivalry Showdown for the national title. And Oklahoma goes from number 10 to national champs. They beat Oklahoma 38-28. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a few people to say, but majority of our roster is leaving us. So that's why we got to go hit the portal strong. Brandon Sandridge committed. Neil Bragg committed. Teddy Nagy committed. Kevin Byham committed. Armand Rochelle committed. Taviti Afalava committed. Chase Hendricks committed. Logan Howland committed. London Merrick committed. Jordan Robinson committed. Parker Livingstone committed. Javon Thomas committed. Devin Brown committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 34th best class in the nation. That's the best in this USA. We've got some talent. Let's hopefully have a good year, too. Delvin Sharp, committed. Lorenzo Hearns, committed. Orlando Woolihan, committed. Tyreke Duggins, committed. Nate Sexton, committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we have made the CUSA Championship here in year 2. And we're going to be taking on the UTIP Miners. Byron Jones, committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won the CUSA here in year dos. And ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 Heisman Trophy winner is Rocco Beck, quarterback of The Ohio State. He had 4,030 yards, 44 tutties, and a 72% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Bahamas Bowl, taking on Buffalo. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won the Bahamas Bowl here in year 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 2 stats. Devin Brown had 289 for 477, 60% completion percentage, 3,260 yards, 26 tutties, and 5 picks. Rushing, Staten, 293 for 968, 10 tutties. Brown, 114 for 315, 8 tutties. Nicholson, 90 for 297, 5 tutties. Corey, 19 for 44, 1 tutty. Chase, 7 for 14. Parker, 6 for 11. Receiving, Isaiah, 65 for 922, 8 tutties. Chase, 78 for 845, 3 tutties. Parker, 41 for 552, 4 tutties. Cross, 43 for 386 tutties. KD, 21 for 252, 2 tutties. Slayton, 30 for 212, 2 tutties. Dino, 542 with a tutty. And Corey, 4 for 37. Defensively, 79 tackles for Greg. Kent with 66 for Thomas, 64 for Robinson, 61 for London, 58 for Eugene Jr. Ward, 57, 55 for Marshall, 40 for Sneed Jr. Tackles lost, 17 by London, 14 by Brandon. Sneed Jr. 11, 10 by Sneed. Oki with 9, 7 by Stokes. Ward with 6, 2 by Robinson and Campbell, 1 by Thomas, Marshall, Lofton, and Nagy. Sacks, we had 10 by London. Brandon with 7, along with Oki. Sneed Jr. with 3. Steed with 1.5, 1 by Ward, 1 also by Campbell, half sack by Thomas. Interceptions, 4 by Thomas, 2 by Marshall, 1 by Myers, and Eugene Jr. Let's get to year 3, and hopefully we make the playoffs. And ladies and gentlemen, how about Tulane trying to pull Oklahoma from last year? They go from 11 to the national title, where they put up a good fight against Georgia, where they fall 34-24. Ladies and gentlemen, we are losing some players, but we were able to keep some alive or staying. I don't know why I said that, but let's go to the portal. Ben Hanks Jr. committed. Christian Pritchett committed. Ashante Emery committed. Kiki Ojada committed. Tyler Malik committed. Terrell DePalma committed. Emmett Izzy committed. Tyree Zener committed. Charlie Collins committed. Noah King committed. Kyle Washington committed. Devin Hyatt committed. Collins Achapong committed. D. Majah Bridgman committed. Zion Perkins committed. Tariq Stanley committed. Ephraim Azata committed. Exordus Errors committed. Preston Ward committed. Cam Pringle committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 42nd recruiting class in the nation. That's the best in the CUSA. Let's get to year 3 and maybe playoffs. Sam Talaferrano committed. Mike Turbin committed. Teddy Ward committed. Nathan Cahill committed. George Price committed. Jason Kashima committed. Bernard Goodley committed. James Charbonnet committed. Isaac Bacon committed. Manuel Castonzo commits. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the CUSA Championship, taking on the Liberty Flames. Fabian Kuma committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we have won the CUSA here in year 3. Let's go. Romeo Sumner committed. Layshawn Gentry committed. Dion Rasmussen committed. Sterling Speed committed. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2027 Heisman Trophy winner is DJ Lagway, quarterback from The Ohio State. He had 3,806 yards, 41 tutties, and 72% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going to the Independence Bowl, taking on Arizona State. Ladies and gentlemen, we have won the Independence Bowl here in year 3. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 3 stats. Tevante got the start, 316 for 533, 59% completion percentage, 3,447 yards, 24 tutties, and 9 picks. He might transfer, and same with Bryce Cox, so we might be fucked there. Rushing, Slayton, 303 for 1,236 yards, 11 tutties. Nicholson, 14 for 103, 383 yards, 8 tutties. Taviti, 115 for 362, 7 tutties. Landers, 28 for 103, 5 tutties. Liverstone, 4 for 16. 4 for 14 for Ashton. 2 for 6, Devin Hyatt. Receiving, 87 for 1,003 yards, 1 tutty. For Parker Livingston, only 1 TD. Kind of disappointing. Craig, 79 for 807, 11 tutties. Hyatt, 55 for 717, 7 tutties. Cross, 42 for 492, 2 tutties. Slayton, 27 for 188. Seth, 12 for 153 tutties. Sharp, 5 for 49. Corey, 3 for 21. And Nicholson, 6 for 20. Defensively, we had 108 tackles by Bridgman, 62 by Hanks Jr., Ayers with 60, 59 for Merritt, Stokes 57, 56 for Pritchett. Packers lost 21 by London. He might transfer because of pro potential. Same with Uiki with 19, 10 by Collins, 9 by Bridgman and Strange, 6 by Steeds, 5 by Nagy, Stokes with 3, 2 by Ayers, Mayers, Smith, and Campbell, 1 by Hanks Jr., Pritchett, and Eugene Jr. Sacks 12 by Oiki, 9.5 by London Merritt, 6.5 by Brandon, 3.5 by Bridgman, 2 by Collins and Greg, 1 by Nagy and Campbell, half sack by Ayers, Hanks Jr., and Eugene Jr. Interceptions, Ben Hanks with 5, Mayers with 3, 2 by Ayers and Pritchett, 1 by Bridgman. Year 3, we had a really good year. Year 4, let's make the playoffs. And ladies and gentlemen, the Michigan Wolverines go all the way to the Natty, taking on Colorado, and Michigan comes on top 38-31. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Parker Livingstone will be going to the draft. And we have also kept some people. London Merritt is going to transfer, Dan. Same with Taviti. But we do keep Brayden. We do keep Okiki. We keep Nagy. We keep Cox. King is going to transfer. And we keep him. But yeah, man, let's go get more talent in the portal. Devin Hedgie committed. Zay Darius Randy Sale committed. Jake Quell Holloman committed. Ben Westbrook committed. Doug Gano committed. Sterling Gauman committed. Rayshawn Singleton committed. Matt Jennings committed. John, I'm not going to pronounce that last name, committed. Josh Eggblue committed. Edwin Spillman committed. Chasen Johnson committed. Garrett Kemp committed. Kiki Gee committed. Leonel Croft committed. Felipe Grimes committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we finished with the 17th best class in the nation. That's once again the best since the USA. Hopefully, Year 4 is our time and we make the playoffs. Dion Hearns committed. Shaq Hakeem committed. Freddie Ezeki committed. Terry Landell committed. Rakeem Wilford committed. Elijah Tam committed. Denton Kaufman committed. Glenn Bruce committed. Dom Loudermill committed. And ladies and gentlemen, we're once again going to the CUSA Championship, this time taking on Liberty. If we win the CUSA, and we probably make the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have won the CUSA here in year 4. Let's go. Alex Ramos committed. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio State is just getting fucking Heisman Trophy winners. It's their third. 2028, it's Quentin Grimm, 3,892 yards, 42 tutties, and a 73% completion percentage. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to the Independence Bowl taking on Kansas State. What the fuck? And ladies and gentlemen, we fall 20-17. Damn. And ladies and gentlemen, here are the year 4 stats. Bryce Cox got the start. Hopefully he don't transfer. 298 for 466, 63% completion percentage, 3,487 yards, 37 tutties, and 5 picks. Rushing, Emery, 297 for 1,268, 7 tutties. Nicholson, 107 for 495, 12 tutties. Cox, 117 for 317, 8 tutties. Oscar, 6 for 21. He might transfer. Tyree, 8 for 20 with a tutty. Kyle Washington, 6 for 10. Receiving, Terrell, 6'6 for 950, 14 tutties. Kyle, 77 for 868, 5 tutties. Oscar, 55 for 717, 8 tutties. Cross, 45 for 466, 6 tutties. Ashton, 31 for 231 tutty. Price, 12 for 149, 3 tutties. Nicholson, 11 for 90. Sharp, 1 for 17. Defensively, 102 tackles for Rainley Sale. Johnson, 6'2, 61 for Ward. Greg Stokes, with 60, 54 for Orlando, 46 for Rochelle. Collins, 45. Oki and Hanks Jr. with 44 apiece. Tackles for loss 19 by Oki, 15 by Collins, 12 by Brandon. David with 7. Same with Teddy Nagy, 6 by Rainey Style and Campbell. 4 by Woodland, Greg Stokes 33, and Tariq Stanley, with 3. Johnson and Ward with 1 apiece. Sacks 8 by Odiki, Brennan with 7, 6.5 by Collins, 2.5 by Rainey Sale, Campbell 2.5, 1.5 by Steed, half sack by Nagy, Woodyland, Stokes, and Johnson. Interceptions 5 by Ben Hanks, Rainey Sale with 4, 3 by Woodyland and Johnson, and Byron Jones, 1 by Ward and Rochelle. Hopefully next year is our year. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Texas and Ohio State making the Natty, with Texas winning 37-31. By the way, it was Tulane that made it over us. Unbelievable. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost some key contributors. Brandon, Teddy, and Bryce are all leaving us. We did able to keep Greg Stokes. Josh is going to have to be our QB. Oscar is staying. We did lose Byron Jones. We're keeping Fabian and Dante. We got to replace these guys for the portal, so let's go. Floyd Tongs committed. Dallin Penson committed. Eric Wayne committed. Devin Harper committed. Cam Pruitt committed. Jay Bourne and Tony committed. Carl Slade committed. Sean D. Morat committed. John Anthony Hall committed. Kenny Haggins committed. Deontay Sullivan committed. Adrian Post commits. Will Tompkins committed. Ladies and gentlemen, we finished with a 16th best class in the nation. Once again, the best in this USA. We have done our job. We've gotten so much talent. Best recruiting classes in this USA. It's time to put it all together and go win a natty. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, our team is all put together. Josh will be the guy leading us in. He will be playing up to an 86. We get a lot of good players there, a quarterback at least. Running backs, we'll see. We don't run the ball. We're an air raid offense. Receivers are looking pretty nasty, if I do say so myself. Tight end. Yeah, we only got one tight end the entire fucking rebuild. That's funny to me. Left tackles playing up to an 81. 87 for Taiki. Center, a little weak there. Devin, he'll be up to playing up 88. 82. Our offense is very weak. If we don't win a natty, I think it's because of our quarterback and maybe our O-line. But this defense looks stacked. Yeah, we have Deion Hearns, Westbrook, Manuel, Matt Jennings all on the edge. Nathan, Cahill, David, Speed, Campbell. You got Rakeem Wilfork. You got Greg Stokes. You got Fabian. You got Lionel Croft, whatever. You got Carl. You got Cam. You got Goodley. Our corners look fucking nasty, too. You got Joe Barari, Dalen, Sean, Orlando, Kemp, Holloman. I mean, this defense looks legit. Sam looks net. Teddy Ward. This is our defense-heavy team. So our offense may struggle. But anyway, that is the team. We will now go over to turn on auto recruiting, and let's get to Sim. Hopefully, we can make the playoffs and win a natty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently 7-1. Our only loss is to ranked Indiana. As long as we beat Delaware, Sam Houston, Jacksonville State, New Mexico, we should be in to the playoffs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the CUSA Championship, taking on Missouri State. Ladies and gentlemen, we have won the CUSA Championship, and now we are on to the playoffs. And ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking on the Michigan Wolverines in the opening round of the playoffs. We are, ladies and gentlemen, at the big house, taking on the Michigan Wolverines, who are a much better team than we are. But our defenses are the same overall, so maybe we have life. But all we can do is pray to the football gods, believe that we can do it. So here we go. Hilltoppers, let's go. Let's bring it home to good old Western Kentucky. 3rd and goal at the 17. We're down 7. Here we go. Gonna throw it, and it's picked. Oh, he caught it, but it's 4th and goal. 4th and 1, we're going for it. Here we go. Good play, Tongs. Good play. Good play. 1st and goal from the 6. Hands it off. Tungins, he's in with ease. Let's go. 10-7. Terrell DePalma with a 6-yard touchdown gives us a 17-7 lead. Come on. Terrell DePalma with a 1-yard touchdown. Now we have a 24-7 lead. Come on. And ladies and gentlemen, we get the job done. We pull the upset. over Michigan, and we are now in the quarterfinals. Let's go. Well, it's not going to get any easier, as now we're taking on Alabama in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Arlington, Texas, taking on the Crimson Tide. Again, just like Michigan, Alabama's better than us, but we had the same overall in defense. Just got to believe and pray to the football gods. Maybe Grimace. Where's our mascot? Can we give our mascot some love? Red Grimace, where's he at? Maybe he can give us some luck that we need. Here we go. Hilltoppers, Crimson Tide, right here, right now. All right, we're down 7-0, but we have first and goal at the 9. Our quarterback's going to hand it off. He's got Tuggins for a gain of 5. Second and goal from the 4. He's going to hand it off. Tuggins is going nowhere. Third and goal. Dumping it off to Tuggins. Kick the field goal. All right. Coach said go for it. Here we go. Fourth and goal at the 4. He's got it. Touchdown. Tie game, baby. Wayne. 4th and 17. Here we go. This will not be in the video, by the way. Alright, we get the ball to start the half. I don't know why they throw that. Oh my fucking god, it's a pick. We had a good drive going, and then we fucked it up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that pick cost us the fucking game. We got dog walked by Bama. Fuck Alabama. Fuck Texas. Fuck Georgia. Fuck all these SEC fucking schools. They always kick our ass, and I'm sick of it. And we always lose in the quarters, and I'm sick of it. In the semis, I'm sick of it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our 12-5 rebuild here on the channel. Another disappointment. We always lose in the quarter, in the semis. We've made it to the Natty, and we lost once. We made it to the Natty with 2 other teams, and we won at Colorado State and Georgia. The only 2 teams we have won it with this year. I don't know what's going on. I think we're just getting bad sims. Maybe I'm just recruiting one side of the ball heavily than the other. It seems like I'm recruiting defense more than offense. Maybe in my next 5-year rebuild, I'm going to focus on recruiting offense more instead of the defense, and let the defense, pick up the slack. It is what it is. I fucking hate Alabama, Texas, and Georgia. They always seem to kick my ass, so fuck them. I'm sorry if you're a fan of those schools, but you may be great schools in real life. Maybe I hate your school in real life or not, maybe in football. But when it comes to this video game, you guys can go fuck yourselves. I fucking hate these fucking programs. I'm sorry if you're a fan of them. I fucking despise them because they always kick our ass. Anyway, if you've enjoyed, hit like, hit subscribe. Guys, so like, subscribe. You motivate me to keep doing this. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day. Have a great night. I know I will, hopefully. And maybe you will. I hope you do. I'm not, because we lost to Alabama 48-16. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I'm out.